killed all 20 ferrets, which of course surprised him. He analyzed it and was found to contain live common flu and live avian flu.
Why would whomever did this nefarious vaccine give it to, professionals to see?
It wasn't supposed to be tested. This guy had like an intuition, or there must have been something odd about it that triggered his attention.
Okay.
They were already cleared. They went through the 22-step process to be cleared already. And so...
Which is also very interesting. Again, I know the process.
Yeah. And so he, they weren't attenuated. It was no adjuvants. It was just straight avian flu and common flu. And of course, if you mix those two strains together, you would expect a hybrid strain to result. Highly lethal.
Right.
Highly infectious.
And so you're saying...
And if this guy had that was plan A.
Okay.
Plan B was the swine flu vaccine.
Okay.
And there has been a very 20 years ago, I'd say 90% of the people that were tested the thyroid, it was normal. Now 90% is not.
And 90% is what?
Not normal.
Not normal, correct. 90%, right.
90%. And reflex asymmetry, pupillary light responses, awry, all of that started after the swine flu vaccines.
Right.
And, one of the tests I do on every person is to shine a bright light in their pupils to see how long they can hold the pupil closed. It's a measure of your adrenal strength.
Interesting.
An Olympic athlete, they'll be able to keep it like 10 seconds. Someone with chronic illness, like a half second. And
the pupil itself will dilate quicker if they're sicker.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they don't have the muscle energy to keep it closed.
Okay.
And so the other thing I'm looking at is, are they symmetric? Because if they're not, there's a neurologic problem.
Okay.
Right? And either Lyme disease, brain injury, stroke, pretty much covers 99%.
Okay. Why doctors aren't doing that, I don't know. Tria should be doing that.
Yeah, no, it's like Lyme disease is dead simple to see if someone has. You just do a reflex exam, and they'll always present with asymmetrical reflexes. But the doctors aren't actually trained how to do reflexes. They just look at, is there a reflex? They're not looking at, the symmetry of the reflexes. They're not considering, these are the cranial nerves.
That's what I'm saying to you, even with the metaphysics and the astrophysics. It's like they only, they got blinders on.
No, and it's like, the Achilles heel reflex, you can tell the balance of the thyroid and adrenals, and more accurately than a blood test.
That's why I had mentioned to you about doing the muscle testing.
There's a muscle testing way, to see where the person's unconscious is. It's like, I introduce a stress to them and I can see how they react to it, but better than muscle testing, and more empirical.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that. This is great. I hadn't heard about the one with the eyes.
And you can also look at heart rate variability. How much variation there is between each beat of the heart, and that tells you the balance of the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. And you can use that so you can say give someone a supplement, and measure before and after their heart rate variability, and you can determine, is that supplement good for that person or not.
Another reason why I know my DNA and my odd genetics is because I developed a syndrome from wrong medication. What you're saying is, it could have been such a simple little thing.
It's and that's they're essentially like a carpenter with a hammer, and everything is in want of a nail. They got their medication, everything needs this medication, and virtually all of them are poison. And by definition, voice is something that suppresses a physiologic function. And that's a method that virtually every pharmaceutical works on. And the idea that you would recover from any chronic illness by suppressing what the body is doing is nonsense on the face of it. And the proof is just look at the population.
I mean, you know how Fauci got slaughtered,
Yeah.
but everybody blames one person on a global issue that when you really know medicine and facts, how many hundreds of thousands of people were doing wrong?
Yeah.
Not just Fauci.
Yeah, no, and it's a cult.
Yeah.
Medical school is all the conditions of a cult. Lack of sleep, only associating with people in the same group, and poor nutrition.
Yeah.
This is like how you indoctrinate someone. There's no rational reason why.
And nutrition is never addressed when someone gets sick.
Yeah.
When that's probably the underlying culprit to begin with.
No, absolutely. I go to visit this tribe near Wanawa. Right?
Yeah.
They don't have cancer. They don't have Alzheimer's.
Right.
They don't have arthritis.
Right.
The tribes around them do. The only difference, they're genetically identical. The only difference is the tribes around them, they eat our diet. So what creates poor health? It's stupidly obvious. And what I would do with my patients, sugar is the main culprit for most people in our culture. And then, if I found out they had a dog or a pet, I'd be like, oh, you have a pet? And it's like, oh yeah, I got this dog. It's like, oh, you like your dog? Yeah, I love my dog. You see them smile.
Yeah.
And when they're emotionally connected to their dog, I'd say, would you give your dog a piece of cake? And they'd be like, no. I'd be like, why not? Does it make the dog sick?
Right.
And like, well, treat yourself at least as well as you treat a dog. What are you doing?
Right, but a lot of people are more educated on how to take care of a dog than themselves.
Yeah, exactly. They spend more time, deciding what brand of vacuum cleaner than what provider they see.
Right.
And most providers. Oops, I want to go this way.
So, yeah.
Most providers really don't know what's going on with the patient, and they don't care. What they want, they care is the patient going to leave feeling like I did something.
No, they care how much am I going to get from the insurance and when am I going to get a nap.
So they want the patient to feel like they did something so they can get paid.
Right. And like I said, human beings, I don't know why, they act like physicians are God.
Yeah, the doctor who I apprenticed with would have a sign, you are the boss. I am the consultant.
Yeah.
If the above 2 points are forgotten, you are the one who's going to suffer.
Right. So here's the thing. I'm sorry. Your name again. My head's...
Michael.
Mike. Oh, my God. That's the name. That's the name, Michael. Okay. Well, that's a connection. It's probably the biggest one yet. But anyway, we have knowledge. We know where to get knowledge. We have intelligence and intellect that we can process and apply the knowledge, okay? It sounds to me like you and I have both discovered and confirmed that humanity is fucked if somebody doesn't do something.
Yes.
So then what? So what do we do? Okay? And then you hear this, pessimism of, well, one person can't save the world and all this stuff. Well, I'm neurodivergent. I'm not all human. And I hear and see and think differently. So I say to you that I channel from my higher. I'm going to call my higher because I don't want to get into every nitty gritty, even though I know what it is. Because I think to myself, if something is killing humanity, and humanity is at the level of ignorance as it is, it would, even if we could convince them, which is probably ain't going to happen, it would take how long to correct this? So we need a fix that is faster than a vaccine. Faster than a vaccine, okay? So I asked my hires, you have knowledge, so I'm interested to see what you think if I tell you what they said. Okay? And one of the things was that they wanted me, they put me on a, they put me, but, you know, this is what you do. And I listened to him, and it goes, it's going to sound weird. There is a food grade hydrogen peroxide. There is a food grade.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I've used it with cancer patients.
And okay, but understand what we're saying about all the toxins, about the wrongful vaccines, about the virus itself. They tell me it's all about cleaning and regenerating your blood.
Yep.
And I'm not a physician, not a physicist, not a biologist, not a nutritionist.
Where's hydrogen peroxide come into that? Because that's particularly fascinating. Because I use hydrogen peroxide IVs for chronic illnesses and cancer. It stimulates the immune function.
I didn't even know that. And I could even tell you the course that they told me to do, the CC and everything.
No,
and I'm not a doctor, I know this stuff.
Nebulizing peroxide was one of the treatments we used for COVID.
I never heard that, never saw it in any research. I believe you.
Yeah, no, it's when the body sees the peroxide, when a white blood cell is fighting a virus or bacteria, it releases peroxidase. And so when the body sees the peroxide, it thinks that there's a full-blown immunologic war going on. It stimulates the immune function.
Mm-hmm.
And so, for things like Epstein-Barr virus,
mm-hmm.
long COVID,
mm-hmm.
Peroxide IVs are really often one or two will knock it out of the first reset. It's like pressing a reset button.
So the dose, this was a while ago, and it's hard for me to come by now because before I call myself homeless.
Yeah.
I am homeless, but I have a home. But you understand? Okay. So when I had an address and everything, that I could get mail to, and that I would buy this food grade hydrogen peroxide, and it would come special, dark bottle, it's supposed to keep it cold, all this stuff, right? So you can't get why nobody can get it. I mean, it is dangerous. But it's like I have trouble mailing stuff to myself now, right? So I'm like, where do I get this peroxide? No peroxide in any health food store or any pharmacy has not only the concentrated percentage of the hydrogen, and also will have additives that are toxic. The highest percentage I have found of the hydrogen peroxide that you could potentially use for something like this, it does have other ingredients, but not as bad as what the peroxide you find in a pharmacy. I believe it or not, I found at Lowe's.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I found it at Lowe's, but you can only buy big quantities, and I need like a milladrop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're supposed to store it a certain way, which is difficult for me. But so what they were saying is, if I got this food grade, I can't remember the percentage of peroxide to hydrogen and all that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In what I ordered, I want to say it was like, I don't know, it was 19% in Lowe's, whereas I think the strongest percent you can get in the store is like, what, 9%?
Oh, like CVS have 3%.
3, right. So the strongest you can usually find is 9, but I'm pretty sure Lowe's has 19. So I guess I'm talking to you like this because I was literally I was thinking about doing it and buying the one at Lowe's. And I felt a difference. I noticed a healthier experience in life when I had started on this regimen, when I had an address and did it. And so what they said is, again, you have to know the percentage in the bottle, but basically it came with a dropper. So, okay, so you could see the cc's and stuff, or mLs or whatever. And they wanted to do in a 8-ounce, 9-ounce glass, I'm gonna say 1 drop, I mean like that little, which was already diluted. So you take the hydrogen peroxide that you buy, that if you got any on your skin would die, it would burn. So it was very all special, like in the lab. You would take a drop of the big bottle, put it in, let's say that 7 or 8 ounce glass of purified, distilled, water, nothing in it. Then you'd take a drop of that. So it was that diluted, and then use a dropper of that in your drink every day for, let's say, 7 days. Then you'd stop for like 5-7 days. Then you'd go back, you'd do every other day. Then you'd stop again for quite a while. Like it was like a cleanse.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. When the first thing, I want to say 2 things. The one, so that I process things similar, right? I was having hypertensive crisis.
Okay.
It was after my friend died of a heart attack. And my blood pressure was going to 210 over 120.
Right.
Which I would send someone
to the hospital. Yeah.
And the time it peaked was in the middle of a ceremony when I had these important people in the ceremony. One of them was had like a $15 billion fund,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them was Harry Crosby, the woman who does all this environmental work. She's got hundreds of millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And the other, Jim Garrison, he's the guy who pushed the UAP bill through Congress. The US.
Harriet doesn't have an avian sanctuary, does she?
She has a what section?
She doesn't have a bird, like for birds, avian.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, and these three
Aviary,
people,
yeah.
The billionaire was working on AI, Harry was working on the environment, and Jim was working on aliens. And with Congress, right?
Jim who?
Jim Garrison.
Okay.
He runs Ubiquity University in DC, and he's 80 years old. His friends and he are both really kind of big deals, and they've done like 50 years of track record of being outstanding humans, and they both now decided the most important thing for humanity to understand is that the aliens are already here.
Oh yeah.
And so you can go visit them in DC now, and they're working with these very high-ranking military folks and several congressmen. And they started coming to our ceremonies. That's how I happened to meet them. And so I was like, there's no way I'm not going to finish this ceremony even though I'm having this hypertension crisis. And ayahuasca actually tends to make your blood pressure even higher. And I was really risking my life in doing that. And then I had this experience where I was given very specific instruction on what to do for my heart. And I followed that instruction. Well, meditating 5 times a day for 5 minutes. Exercise where I'm expelling other people's
negativity and
from my heart. And it, like, once I started doing it, my blood pressure completely normalized and it stayed that way. So the first thing I would say, if you get instruction like that,
Yeah.
The second thing I would say though is what you're describing is what we would call mediumship. In our spiritual community. All kinds of mediumship, empathic mediumship, unconscious mediums, conscious mediums. We work with our spiritual guides. And it's like you have a relationship with these. And so what you're describing sounds very familiar to me, right? But the thing is, the level, and we would call that spiritual realm the astral.
Honey, I'm getting information that I'm cracking codes that I could show you that could like split the sea.
And so that astral, it's not all good.
That's why I said I don't think it's right.
And
It's
that's-
powerful,
yeah.
dangerous.
Right, and extremely alluring.
Yes. Well,
Yes.
no, it's not for me. Not if you knew who I am. It's not an alluring thing. It's actually I don't want it. It's because they know how pure and good and kind that I would be one that would be safe with this information.
It's I would caution you. Because
Am I right or wrong that I'm talking peroxide
yeah,
and hydrogen?
Yeah.
I haven't offered this to anyone. This is just for me.
it makes a perfect sense to me.
Okay, so what I'm saying is 50 years of getting information that is valid beyond,
Yeah.
that is helpful and healing, and there's no way I would know. It's not like they're telling me how to create a hydrogen bomb.
No, I know, but if you're open to that, right, there's other things,
Like,
that might be the reason why you're smoking meth or injecting meth.
oh no, that was just I was sent to fight a demon and I fall in love with it, and that's a whole nother thing.
That's exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you confirmed what I was saying. And so, when you're opening yourself,
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, protect yourself.
You know how you said your wife will do the rosary?
Yeah.
And I mentioned that blessing?
Yeah.
So, in addition to being given information, whether it's medical, scientific, whatever, I am also have been provided with, I call it spiritual weapons. I would call that a spiritual shield that your wife even does, that she is exercising, she is igniting a spiritual level.
And still, she is vulnerable. And
Depending on the weapon.
well,
Depending on the level and
what comes.
What do you mean?
Because we can't control who visits us.
Okay, so I'm trying to understand. So are you saying therefore that the problem is or what you need is divine discernment, right? You need divine
A
discernment.
container. Well, I would say what is needed is a container.
Talk to me more.
And,
Expound on that. What do you mean container?
So the when I open and close the ceremony, there's a physical container.
Okay.
The space of that, but there's also the temporal container, a clear beginning, middle, and end.
Okay.
And that way, when I'm driving right now,
Yes.
I'm not having something come into me and affecting how I live my life, so I can function in a normal manner. Right? I wasn't able to function in a normal manner until I was.
I'm not
in
sure
my
how
late
you're
30s.
doing that without what I call a spiritual weapon.
What's that?
I don't understand how wherever you go at all times, you could basically, what you're talking about is a shield. So you don't need discernment because you're already shielded.
Yeah, closed.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
So.
and so what we say in regard to mediumship,
Mm-hmm.
and I've worked with thousands of people. Thousands. I've been.
I was tested at 13 from the Rhine Institute.
I've been leading these ceremonies for 20 years now, and it's the largest group in the country. We say the most important thing in regard to mediumship is to keep yourself closed. Right? Everyone is a medium. Right? Everyone is subject to energy that most people are unconscious.
Okay. So here's the thing. Everyone is subjected to that. I agree with you, etc. Because, and again, we're getting into metaphysics.
Yeah.
Okay? And I know metaphysics extremely well. One of the top in the world, I would say. I would say that I am above one of the top 10, and I know that sounds crazy and histrionic, but at this point, again, we haven't talked to that depth, and if we did, I think you'd agree. Okay, but just saying. So what you said, okay, I 1,000% agree with. I could support it a million ways over. However, you said also, I'm going to qualify this, that aliens are here.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, I said that this person.
That person believes it. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
At this point, I do too.
Okay.
Because
So
of what he showed me.
Okay. So stand firm on that,
Yeah.
right? You believe in it. Okay. Now, intellect, intelligence. Okay. Psychology, neurology of an alien species that often some say are our evolved ancestors.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're talking also about a cognitive and cerebral evolution. Okay. Yes, you're talking about a cognitive and a cerebral evolution, which also has other energy. It's not just physical.
Yeah, for some of the alien species.
What alien species would have less cognitive and cerebral
the ones
evolution?
That are more like biologic machines. You know, what they call the greys, the little
Yes.
greys.
Yes.
They're like created. They're not evolved creatures.
Okay, so you're saying it's an ancestry factor.
And they they're the ones who created them.
Yes.
Where they look like the greys, except for they're tall. They're very
right. The
thin,
taller ones. Yes.
You know, and you know it's one of the U.S. generals. Was talking about them. He described the exact same thing that I experienced as a child, and it sort of set off this whole exploration that I was not expecting at all. But so yes.
But I still want to get back to explain something to you about the mediumship.
I know several people who are.
I don't call it mediumship, and I understand why you do. Before I was ignited, before I transformed, before I metamorphosized, before I had many dark nights of the soul and did this like supernova thing in my brain, etc., before all that, I call myself a medium. I call myself a medical intuitive. I call myself a psychic. Not now. Now, part of the reason why they called the police is because I looked the MD straight in her face and told her what she was thinking. And the whole mob around me. I was like, this is what you're thinking, this is what you're thinking, this is what you're thinking. And every single one, I was right. And it flipped them out. And she said that I was threatening her when in truth, I was under threat and she was attacking me, and I told her what she was doing. And she saw that as it almost the mirror throwing it back at her. I have abilities, I believe, because of my alien intelligence, DNA, biology, ancestry, and evolution.
No, that's specifically why I picked that up, and that's why I'm saying what I'm saying to you.
So when you're saying I agree that humans, yes, need continuous checks and balances and discernment and meditation and processes to, work with their pineal, etc. I get that, okay? But there is knowledge on accessing areas of intellect and areas of a human brain. Also, one thing that medicine hasn't tapped into, okay, is they haven't tapped into the mind, heart, and sacral trinity in holistic care, okay? And so your heart, which has been researched, does have, in essence, an emotional intelligence in itself, okay, which you know. So does the sacral, especially in humans that have had issues, as you also mentioned, mother issues can trigger even sacral energies. You understand?
Yeah, no, I have no doubt that what you're perceiving and receiving is truth in it.
So if I am tapped, Earth Star to Mothership, there is no that shield is. I've seen things break that tried to.
What I'm suggesting to you is there might be things influencing you that you're not aware of.
Yes.
And
I need help with that.
And they can say, and this might be what's making these obstacles in your life for you, right? And because it's not your will.
Okay, so I have this mission, which you do as well with the New Earth. Clearly, not many people are this aware.
Yeah, and I want you to live to that.
Oh, I will live to that because they want it. I mean, I should be dead 9 times over. And same with you, exactly. So here we are. Yeah. And we're talking about, okay.
We're at the point now where I better get the
actual address?
Yeah.
Okay. You want me to Google the actual address? Because I just know location.
You say it was Buckystown and what?
Well, you can drop. Well, no, because I have luggage. The corner of Buckystown and Spectrum, and there's a hotel. It's like the Country Suites.
Okay. Is that in Frederick?
Yes.
That's near where you want to go?
It's where I live. Oh. Yeah. Is that okay?
Where do you want to go?
Country Suite Motel, Frederick, Maryland.
Spectrum, though, because there's a couple of them.
Getting directions to Country Inn and Suites by Radisson, Frederick, MD.
I don't think that's it.
It's on Spectrum.
It is?
Yeah. 5799.
I didn't know it was a Radisson. That's interesting.
If it's not the right one, I'll
yeah, it doesn't seem like a Radisson.
I'm determined to take you where you want to go. So.
Thank you. And I don't think that we should lose contact in something that is this synchronized. But anyway, so what I receive and the way I communicate, you are saying that that something's off, that something's wrong, that I'm missing something, that I need healing. Granted, absolutely, and every healer needs healing. However, you're judging this from what little you've seen and heard without knowing history, other than I have PTSD from something traumatic.
I would have had to talk to you at all
to pick up on it.
Yeah, I picked up on it when I saw you standing
as far as I'm an alien, or as far as I'm injured?
I don't want to prejudice your own experience, right? And but the reason I'm talking about this is what I observed before you even got in the car
is
that you're not protecting yourself enough.
Well, there, 100%. Yes, yes. I let my defenses down. Yes.
And so when
yes.
A good way of discerning.
Okay.
Is you set your intent, right?
I agree with you. We're talking 2 different subjects, and you just brought me into yours, and now I see it. That's why I needed to do this. Okay.
So like I say, I have this. My wife and I's goal is to create a community where people can go when they're in spiritual crisis. Which in our culture, manifests as anxiety, depression, whatever, life crisis. And so if I then find myself doing something that is not aligned with that, right? Something made me do that. Either my own internal stuff or something external to me, right? And so when that goes on, there's the examining of my conscious. Am I aware of why I did that,
Mm-hmm.
and is it something that I feel? Like, does it feel like me,
Mm-hmm.
or does it feel like something else
Mm-hmm.
is going on?
Mm-hmm.
And the tell for me is when my emotions and energy change very rapidly,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's what I experienced when I
Mm-hmm.
was picking you up, and so I became aware that
Mhm.
there's something else present,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then so then it's okay if at it's just, at this point it's just a vague feeling, right? And so if it had a voice, what would it sound like? If it had a face, what would it look like? And I start to try and solidify that
Mhm.
feeling, and then it's like if I release a red balloon up into the sky,
Mhm.
follow with my eyes, I can be able to see that a really long time, longer than if someone has been up in the air for 5 minutes, someone comes along, I say it's right there and point at it, they can't see it,
Right.
because I'm tuned to that red balloon.
Right.
In the same manner, I'm tuning myself
Right.
to this energy and feeling, right? And so it's
I was very unprotected, which is why this happened. And I let my defenses down. When you're injured and you're going to medical professionals, I don't think that. If I had kept it up the whole time, I will say this though. I will say that when I realized where they were looking to send, I spoke to my hires. I spoke to my hires before I said, because I'm like, guys, I'm hurting. What do I do? And I said, I'm thinking about going into recovery program. I will not do it if you say don't do it, and I will do it if you say do it. Right? Also, I know the numbers and the code looked like it was bad for me on the 16th, but I saw that it was very good for me on the 17th, 18th. So anyway, so I'm reading all these codes and everything, and it was an intellectual process more than it was, needing for my medical, okay, on that level. So what I heard, which didn't make entire sense, what I heard was that it was a journey, that it was more the journey than the destination. You've heard that before. And I let my defenses down because my team, in essence, said, we got you. It's going to be a journey. There's going to be struggle, but there's some pivotal thing that is going to happen through this process, maybe meeting you. So had I not have gotten involved in all this, your experiences with the fires in your house or whatever, had I not gone through the fire,
I didn't have to torture myself to learn what I learned.
You didn't have to torture yourself, right? I'm not torturing myself.
But I mean, I didn't have to have the world torture me to learn.
You did not have that, from what I understand, that also has to do with my human karma and cleansing and igniting my alien DNA.
For me, it was my stubbornness.
It was your stubbornness
my
said,
denial. So the world really.
I want to talk to you a little bit just because of where we're going. If you turn at this light, do you mind? I don't mean to cut you off. Then you're going to make a right towards the KFC. Okay. Yes, down in there. Okay, and then, what time is it?
It's right now 7:53.
Okay, so if you go straight and there's going to be a speed bump, then this will dead end at another street that you could go left or right, and you want to go left. Okay. All the way to the street, though. It's confusing. It's a maze. It's a maze. It is. I'm hidden. Okay, left here. You're going to pass it. Yep. Left here. It's a maze. Then you're going to go straight back. I don't mean to scare you.
Nope.
And there's a picnic table right in front of you.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
And that's where I can put my things.
All right.
And there's my woods. And there's my house in there. And these people know me.
Yeah, it's funny. You and I have a lot of shared experiences.
Oh, yeah?
I've been in similar situations.
Wild.
So, but what what the missing link is how to affect the change that you can in this world,
Okay.
right?
Uh-huh.
And to do that,
Uh-huh.
you've got to protect yourself more,
Okay.
right? And that means because it's like the plane going down, the parents put the oxygen
Right.
mask on first. All right, this is what I'll do when what anyone asks me, as long as it doesn't interfere with a prior responsibility, which includes responsibility myself.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mhm.
And I didn't realize how important that caveat was when I made that,
That's why I kept asking you, what's that covenant,
Yeah.
thing you stated?
Yeah.
Oath.
And so, and I literally, have made no exception. It brought me everything good in my life, and my way more than I knew was possible, right? And I was kind of in a kind of situation that you're in now when this happened, and I was using speed, right? I the 3 relationships in a row, all 3 women, 2 of them were marriages, the next was a 5-year relationship. All 3 women had been raped by their fathers. Tell me that's a coincidence, and so as I had to completely surrender and put myself in, and which meant not doing what I wanted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't have the sense that I was worth taking care of, right? And that is we're the same age, and you're not going to be able to endure what you're doing for much more.
Well, that's another reason why I thought that going into a program would help me then move on into the right housing and things. The problem is that I'm not human and I can't handle the human living systems.
Yeah.
I really can't.
My son's the same way. And I can just barely, I wear a hat so I don't have to comb my hair, right?
I cannot get through, I
Yeah.
think, a day of society anymore. I have elevated so much without
Yeah, so you don't need a rehab. You need like a monastery.
yeah.
And so that's where
But I don't want a monastery because I'm not a Buddhist. In other words,
there'll be doctor places.
there's no place for aliens and hybrids to heal here now. There needs to be.
Wow, that's the quote of the day. I can say that. You don't know how one of the members in my community just told me that they had an experience where they realized that they were descended from aliens, right? I had been wondering if I had because of all these experiences I had as a child, if I was, I'm definitely, I'm wired, the way I say it is I'm wired differently, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
what's your blood? A?
I think I'm type O,
Well, then there it is.
And the thing, what affects me isn't the same as what affects other people, and it's been
because you're O.
And I had to, but it was a long time. I had this impression of myself that I was tough and I could endure a lot.
Because you can.
But I didn't acknowledge how much I needed to be taken care of and taking care of myself.
Right.
Right. And that's like the demands that once I started doing that, now I have a medical practice. Then I have this community that I have to take care of. It's like my level of responsibility increased exponentially as soon as I just the basic care.
Yeah.
Right. And that's
I'm scared about that.
Yeah. Right. And so clearly the familial trauma, and you can spend your whole life processing that, or you could just focus on something else.
I don't think about it at all.
But the thing that whereas you're living here, you can maintain a shield, but it's a constant work, and you're not able to do anything
Way,
else.
way.
Yeah. And going, I spent 2 years by myself in the woods. I go in a month at a time, and then I'd bring a hunk of cheese, a loaf of bread, and a stick of pepperoni with me. It was my emergency rations, and I tried to catch fish or whatever else I could get.
That's cool.
And and that's what allowed me to feel myself, right? Because prior to that point, what I thought I was really the projections of everything
Other
around.
people.
Yeah, I was living, and I if you asked me how I was doing, I'd say, oh, I'm okay. What do you mean you're okay? You're doing 15 bags of heroin a day. How can you? I was all fine. I'm getting divorced. So I'm fine. I completely had to numb myself in order to function at all.
Right.
And now I don't at all. I do what I want to do, and when I'm available to be in service, this is a clear example, right? I stopped my medical practice because I want to focus on making this community where people can go when they're in spiritual crisis, and knowing what's going on in the world now and the limited time that we actually have. I can't pretend to not be in denial if I'm not doing that, right? And so
I get concerned also knowing the powers that be and are so wanting to destroy that. Once I have also built communities and built businesses and things to help, and it's like you get to a certain level and then they the authorities come at you or try to take you down. So it's like once you get a good thing going, like you have this great thing going, my fear is that you're a target.
Yeah, no, as my community is pretty much under the radar.
That's what I'm saying.
And
has to be. And that's not good. Because how are you going to spread it worldwide?
Who's asking me if everything's okay right now? It seems that I didn't take you where you were supposed to go.
Okay, so what are we going to do about this now? We're going to say that truly I was being held against my will. And let me tell you, there's probably 100 witnesses at the hospital, everywhere.
For me, I know that no one can tell me where I can and cannot take someone. I'm not under any legal responsibility. I'm not affiliated with a group.
They were making it sound like you were. Because I said something to them. Well, why can't I just pay the driver to take me home? And they said because that you would have to take me to that facility, and then we make a deal because you were somehow obligated and locked in because of the arrangement with that facility.
Yeah, no, they tried to make it that way to appear that way to me. They send me this note, please pick up this person, you bring them to their location, a 15% tip is already included, they said. And I'm like, you got in the car, and I knew within 30 seconds that you were going somewhere you didn't want to go. And so I already was like, okay, what's this going to be like? Are they going to call me and say that I have to bring someone against their will somewhere? You would have to, you'd have to have another driver to do that. I'm not going to do that, right? There's no, what they did was illegal. If you were someone who needed, if you were
many illegal,
if a homicidal or suicidal, if those things existed and they put you in an Uber, they would have been violating the law, right?
Yeah, that's why they tried to get me. The MD signed that I was voicing suicidal and homicidal ideations when I'm talking to you about saving the world.
Yeah, and so if the MD documented that, they have a lawsuit coming to them.
No, because you know why? Because then they sent me to the hospital for the assessment.
Yeah. And the hospital's assessment was you're totally fine?
Yeah.
It was.
Hospital and police. Police also had to do.
So that's where I picked you up?
Uh-huh.
Who booked the ride?
Apparently someone at that hospital communicated. So they have a plant. They have the facility had a plant in the social work department or whatever this guy's name is. They had a plant that when things are like, wait a minute, we're not going to say, we can't send her to a psych place. We can't drug her out. So I kept saying, I want to leave. They wouldn't give me my things. They had my things locked up, so I couldn't even leave, okay? I could have, but no money, And so then they said, what do you want to do? And I said, look, number one, the contract was that they were going to pay to bring me back to Frederick. Number two, I came from a facility, or not facility, an outpatient, okay, that knows and can help me and da-da-da-da. I said, I want to go back to Frederick. I told on our own director, I told my counselor, everybody knew I wanted to go back to Frederick. So I'm waiting because I was first lied to. I was first told that on our own in Frederick was going to pay to bring me back and that the Uber was going to bring me back here. I was lied to. So I was waiting for that. Then when you showed up,
beyond
finished.
the treatment of a patient, why this so upsets me is it's putting me at a liability
karmically as well.
What would
and you
it
talk
do to
about
my
being
soul?
shielded. That's what I'm
would it
saying.
do to my soul to bring someone,
Had I not have said anything, you would have been fucked.
No, it's completely inappropriate.
Right.
And so I'm hoping that they call me because
So let me tell you why here, why we were going to where I don't even know where we were going.
Yeah, Cromwell is all.
Yeah. And so finally I'm waiting. I'm asking people, where's this social worker? Where's my cab? Am I going to have to pay? I'm ready to negotiate. He says, listen, are you ready? And I'm like, yeah, again, thinking I'm going to Frederick. He's like, well, the cab's going to be here in 8 minutes. You're going to yada, yada. I said, come again? I said, wait a minute. I said, we just discussed that I don't need inpatient. Okay, I can handle this on my own with outpatient support, as I have. And I want to go home. Okay? And he said they weren't going to do it. Nobody was going to do it. And basically, I'm on the street or walking back to Frederick myself unless I get in the cab, let you bring me to the other location, which then, right before I get in the cab, he says, oh, by the way, it's first come, first serve. First, he tells me, we got you a place in another program. I said, but I didn't want to go in another program. And then he says, well, it's first come, first serve. I said, so I get in the cab, as I said, listening to God, having faith and protection that whatever happens, not only does God have my back, but that this is meant to happen for the highest good of all.
Yes, but you can do it directly without having to go in a convoluted way to get to the same result.
Talk to me. I mean, that's what I'm open to learn that.
That's in the protection. And so
I use so much protection stuff.
No, but it's if you're methamphetamine, right? And this is like, I was a junkie. I did at my worst I wasn't using I used methamphetamine maybe 5 times more, like pharmaceutical amphetamine from Canada,
because you were more into downers. Dope.
And I used the heroin to come down off of the stimulants, and I was looking more to numb myself in general. But your body can't do that.
I know.
And
that's why I'm breaking down with infections and everything else.
And it's like every time you're doing amphetamine, it's like running 10 miles, right? And and so what is going to leave is a constant state of anxiousness,
which I have marijuana for.
And so, but marijuana opens you, and so It's like I have real concern about you being here by yourself.
Oh, it's not good, but
You know, and so but
but that was worse.
yeah. Yeah, oh yeah. No. No, I've no doubt of that. I have no,
So what do you do?
You know, so but the ask your guides, your hires, you know, to direct you towards a place where you can have a home, right? And focus on that, nothing else, until you have your A, B. Don't try to do X, Y, and Z unless you have A, B, and C.
See, I'm disgusted with them, even though I'm not, because I know that they have me. But I'm disgusted, and I was upset because I said, listen, throw me some money. I mean, I'm from a rich as fuck family. I mean, shit, my dad, I mean, I'm like, send me some money so that I can get what you're saying. Because if I try to go through any kind of department, through any kind of assistance, okay?
They're going to use you to make money.
Use, abuse, and they can't use and abuse me because I'm neurodivergent fucking alien. So then we come into this war situation.
It's really remarkable that you got in the car. Like you know,
I can show you stuff even physically that ain't human.
And the so when you were little, did you have any visitations?
Yes.
No. And
Absolutely.
And those visitations, were you ever paralyzed?
Yes.
No. Did you ever have the feeling that if you didn't get yourself out of it, you would die?
No, I always knew I would get out. I always knew I would get out.
Oh. Well, I'm gonna text you my phone.
I mean, I was scared. Like, holy shit, am I gonna die? But there was something beyond that I knew that whatever had me could not kill me. I was meant for a higher.
What's your phone number?
240 444
444
6823.
6823.
I've had honey, I was speaking a Hebrew prayer before I could stand. My parents both, who are not religious, my father, not religious, didn't know Hebrew. I learned later in life, in my 30s, that what I was chanting as a child, that they thought was baby gibberish. And I got a nickname from my father as Abi because I was reciting the Amida. And not only was I reciting some and chanting some of the Amida, before I could talk and say mommy, I was also doing the physical movement. They said I would pull myself up before I could stand onto a coffee table and bounce and chant. At 18 months or 16 months, I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk. Both parents witnessed it. Okay, my father's like agnostic physician. I mean, like.
Yes. So you're used to people not believing you, but I do. You know, I believe what you're telling me because I experienced similar things.
Okay,
right?
people don't believe me who have seen shit that is you cannot deny. I've had people run from me and be scared of me from the supernatural shit that they've seen around me.
So I texted my phone number to you. Can you?
I have to live like this.
Do you have your phone?